happens in the world. There's this serial killer at large called the Quartering Duke who takes over live streams and murders people on stream and then leaves. He's done it to, I think they said 100 people at this point, so he's like a major problem. So they brought together a bunch of detectives to work on the case at their secret base, which is on a remote island. But in the beginning of the game, our character was investigating a crime that was thought to possibly be a copycat of the Quartering Duke or linked to it. It led him to this old man who was like, actually, I'm in the DA and I want you to join us. This is Rancode V2. You know what? I think this is actually, I had this thought earlier this week because I'm rewatching a Rancode playthrough right now when I'm at work. And I think this is Rancode done right. So, one of my biggest problems with Rancode was that each chapter introduced characters that were related to the case. So, in each chapter, you basically automatically knew one of the characters that would die and then who would be suspected for the kills. There was no, like, mystery about it. It was just always, well, we met 4 people this chapter, one of them died, and the other 3 are the suspects. And for the most part, that's how the game played out, outside of the end of the game, which was easily the best part of Rancode. Yeah. So, I mean, if they ever make another Rancode game, there is plenty they could do to expand upon it, make it better. Like, the foundation of Rancode was just them trying out a bunch of new shit, and some of it sticks, and some of it did not. And you know what? That's okay. I'm actually not a Rancode hater. I just think it had a big legacy to live up to. But at the same time, if you break down the Danganronpa games, there is a lot to them that are flawed. So, really, Spike Chunsoft just does these things with their games, and people either love it or they hate it, and that's fine. Chapter 3, Flawed Existence. Okay, are we like writing Fire Emblem chapters now, Rosen? But anyways, after you are recruited into this agency, the old man that was sent to recruit you kidnaps you, and you wake up on the island. You have a voice message from the character, the old man, saying, go straight to this mansion on top of this hill. Do not stop at the facility you see on the way. You get to the mansion and you're immediately knocked out. When you wake up, the other detectives are like, who the fuck is this person? It comes to light that you were supposedly recruited into the DA, and that you're supposed to meet up with the senior detective. He's the old man that recruited you. So they go looking for him, they find him dead. He's dismembered in the basement. You meet up with the other half of the detectives. There's like, I think 14 or so of them total. And you then have to investigate how the senior detective was killed. You come up, like, there's a gameplay element to it, and you come to the conclusion, you know how he was killed, but you don't know who did it. But because of the way of the events unfolding, they know that the person that killed him is still inside the mansion with them, because they wouldn't have been able to escape. Since there's only one path that leads up the mountain, and no one could have slipped past the other group of detectives as they came from the facility to the mansion. I don't know if you're following me still, but I'm going to keep talking. So, from that point, Chapter 1 starts. And you and the leader of the detective agency is actually your childhood friend that you thought was dead. They see something at the facility that you pass by on the way, and it looks like a strange object. They think that it could be the culprit trying to get away, so they split into 2 groups, one group to defend the mansion, and one group to go check out the thing at the facility. However, the thing at the facility is this killer robot with the target symbol on it, and it comes after them, and it kills your childhood friend. All systems online. It kills childhood friend Chan, and you're distraught. You all escape, you and the other detectives that went to go investigate. The thing chases us. We get into the mansion, and we lock the doors. Then, the main character starts freaking the fuck out because he can see the ghost of the childhood friend detective. The other detectives cannot see her, but she communicates with us throughout the game. I'm gonna say, it's Shinigami done right. It's not awful and obnoxious. She's just there to provide information, and she's not as obnoxious as Shinigami. We are trying to figure out who in the mansion is the quartering duke. Who is the serial killer that's been at large? Also, hey, Nano. I think the structure of this game is the characters are slowly going to die and decrease over time with each chapter, and we will eventually have to figure out who among the original group has been killing them the entire time. It's not going to be like Danganronpa, where one person kills one person and then we lose the person that killed them at the end of that chapter. It's going to be like, somebody gets killed, and we are trying to solve it, and we won't actually arrive at the conclusion until the end of the game. Also, another thing that's worth mentioning is our main character apparently took on the ability of the childhood friend detective, which is, honestly, her power is that so Raven. She can literally see a glimpse of the future and then try to figure out how to prevent it. Each person in the group has special abilities that pertain to their detective ability. Again, it's kind of like the Fortes from Raincode, but better. Mostly because they're not as broken. Yeah, so that is where we're at. We know the group of characters from the beginning of the game, so there is a constant feeling of tension and uncertainty of who's betraying the group, who's been betraying the group, who can we trust. Like, this is what makes a good mystery game. You can't do what Raincode did because you don't know or trust or you just don't know anything about any of the characters, so it doesn't matter when they die. Whereas when you're with a group of characters from the beginning of the game, there's more meaning behind their death and their motives. So, again, it's something Danganronpa did well, Raincode did not do at all, and that's why I don't like Raincode as much. But this game seems to be doing it. I'm here for it. My opinion could change, but so far, that's what I'm getting from this game, and I am team Process of Elimination, for sure. I would even say my only real complaint is I wish there was English voice acting, so I didn't have to read literally every line, but that's my job as a streamer, so I will just shut up and put up with it. Anyways, hi Nano, welcome back Phil. Fire Emblem ended on a good note. We're about to do some Process of Elimination. Let's get it. We're in Chapter 2 now. Oh yeah, also, each character doesn't go by their real-life name. They go by an alias given to them for their service in the detective organization, or detective agency, DA. Alliance? I think it's Detective Alliance. So the characters, instead of having names, they're Downtown Detective, Gourmet Detective, Techie Detective, Bookie Detective, Mystic Detective, We Are Incompetent Detective, which, whatever. Workaholic Detective. Who am I forgetting? Posh Detective, she's my favorite. Renegade Detective. Am I leaving? Oh, Armor Detective. That's 10. Rowdy Detective. Ideal Detective, who's currently deceased. Senior Detective, who is also deceased. And I think I'm missing one more. Oh, Doleful Detective. Yes. Good shit, Nano. Alright. Downtown dashes to the entrance hall, pulling me along by the hand. How many times do I gotta say it? We can take that black whatever it is, capiche? The 16th detective lying hidden in the mansion. Watch out. That could be the case, to be honest. Although it would be the 15th. Time is of the essence. Pray, Effie, in us, and we shall sally forth. Calm down, you two. Let's try to keep our heads on, shall we? Our whole crew could get wasted here, and you want me to stay calm? Armor and Rowdy crowd around Workaholic in front of the door. Their menacing posture makes them look ready to pounce. What's all the commotion about? The words Rowdy blurted stick out to me in particular. What's all this about us getting wasted? Sir, incompetent! The game reminded me 1 minute in that I need Rowdy to die. Rowdy's a lot. Going to take a bit to get used to the names. Well, as is with a lot, I mean, good mystery visual novels tend to obscure details, and them obscuring their real-life names could then come into effect, like, later in the game. And I really like that as a possibility. So, I'm okay with the name thing. We only knew the actual name of the childhood friend, who's now dead. Hey, perfect timing. Help me talk some sense into these eggheads, will ya? Rowdy approaches me while holding one of the flower vases on display all over the mansion. You recognize this vase, yeah? Notice anything fishy? There's one in every room, right? It doesn't seem all that strange. What's up? What's up? We're way beyond what's up, bub. These vases, they housed a toxin most foul. One that turns into vapor at room temperature, pervading its environs. Huh? So you mean if we stayed here? Yup, every one of us nearly died. If I hadn't been investigating with my friend Sniffy Whiffy, we would have been in dire peril. Well, that points the finger a bit at Gourmet Detective, wouldn't it? Since she's immune to poison. Whirly whirly. Swirly whirly. Sniffy Whiffy. You were the one who discovered it, Techie? By the way, these are all the characters. Day 3 and still no Wordle. Yeah, we don't need Wordle because we have actual plot. Or maybe Techie's setting her up. Sniffy Whiffy happened to react to it this morning. My analysis confirms it's the same substance that was used to kill the staff at Snarks. Inescapable, my beloved. I can say with confidence, Wordle was one of the most entertaining parts of Inescapable.
So saved.
So the culprit trapped us all in the manor, so they could off us with poison gas? It's possible, though of course... I'm crying laughing because it's true. I know. Wordle was without a doubt one of the most entertaining parts of Inescapable. You know what I will say about Inescapable? The case with Geo, legit, I was popping off. That was the one time in Inescapable where I was like, oh my god, the game did a thing, and I think only I know, and I felt super big brain. Like, it gave me that dopamine rush that I get from a good game. But it happened with Inescapable, which makes no sense because that game is dog. It was when I realized that the pavlova was made with sugar-free substitute instead of sugar, and the diabetic gave himself insulin. I was like, that was legitimately a good part of Inescapable. Maybe the only good part. The hostage exchange was maybe the worst part. Actually, let's be honest, the worst part is the lust route. It's so bad that I won't stream it. The hostage exchange was literally like, the bad guys were like, oh, you're so annoying, just take the baby. And then the freakishly violent one like tried to kill him anyways, and like what's-her-fuck took the bullet. It was so bad and so stupid. Just remembering it, I'm getting really triggered. Yeah, Francesca's baby. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. That game was so fucking bad. It's possible, though of course the culprit would need some way to survive it themselves. But why go through all the trouble? They killed 22 people at the same time in the research facility. The culprit could just as easily do the same with us if they wanted to. I enjoyed it the same way I enjoyed ZTD. Really? I feel like ZTD was way better than Inescapable. Inescapable was legitimately boring 85% of the game. Like, I will say, as someone that I feel like I'm paying extra attention to these visual novels that we play because I am having to read the lines to you guys. One thing I never want to feel when I am streaming a visual novel is reading dialogue and thinking in my mind, why am I reading this? Why is this in the game? I hate this. It happened very often with Steins Gate, and it happened very often with Inescapable. And that is why those games are the two worst things that we've ever streamed. And I'm not gonna lie, it happened in Fata Morgana when they were going over details that we'd already talked about at length. And then it went over them again in even more length, and I just was like, oh my god. Every time the MC talked was rough. Steins Gate and Digimon Survive are the two worst VNs. Oh, Digimon Survive was horseshit. Yeah, I agree with you, actually. Digimon Survive is worse than Inescapable. No one was here for Digimon Survive, but that could be for a number of reasons. Because Digimon Survive, I was streaming during the week, and my schedule was changing because of a job that I was working. That actually influences my viewership a lot. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Inescapable is like, we all know it's bad, but it was not bad enough that people could stand to watch it. It's like a burning bus. You're just like, But you just had to tune in a little bit. It doesn't add up. Maybe they're just looking to make us panic rather than wipe us out. I was discussing our next move with Workaholic in the dining room, but then these two overheard us. Keep your pants on. When I'm done, that big black doohicky's gonna be a bucket scrap. You got the one right that was worth watching? Yeah. We lucked into it. I will say, my luck with visual novel pathing is generally pretty good. I was tipped off on what to do in Somnium Files, so that helped. But, in Zero Escape, we got an insane route right off the bat. Like, we got the most information immediately. Yeah. Which is good because the other endings were kind of like... It'd be like playing the right side of Somnium first. Don't recommend. When you're done, have you forgotten how it took all our efforts just to buy us some time? You're being way too reckless. It'll be different this time. I've worked myself into shape the past 2 days so I can wallop that thing. No way it'll get one on over me. I too stand at the ready. Teki hath mended mine armor to flawless impenetrability. That loathsome sable monstrosity shall taste the fury of my fists. You two need to relax. I understand that you're unhappy with our lack of progress these past 2 days, but haste makes waste, as they say. It's more important to keep calm when your back's against the wall. Workaholic's right. Holmes gave her life to protect us. Do you really want to put yourselves back in that danger? Rowdy flinches, but her expression turns spirited once again as she sinks to her knees, touching her head to the floor. Come on, trust us. I know I ain't much when it comes to head work, but these fists can help you here and now, promise. We seek only to employ our martial might to the vantage of all. Armor follows Rowdy's lead, falling to his knees and bowing before beseeching us in a piteous tone. Hideous tone even. Lady Rowdy and I take pride in the strength of our arms, yet we're of no succor to Lady Ideal. We cannot remain idle whilst our allies could be slain. Rowdy, armor. I get where the two of you are coming from. Their areas of expertise don't contribute much to this search for the hidden passage. They were already frustrated, and now there's a poison vase that could have killed their fellow detectives. No wonder they're so wound up. I've been totally useless too, so I know how they feel. Seeing as I'm the only one in their shoes, it's up to me to dissuade them. The fake hidden passage, yeah, that he told them about. Now, how can I talk them out of this? Perhaps this would be a good time to use your denouement. Want me to make a prediction right here? How would I even do that? I whisper out as Sholmes appears beside me. Holmes even... Oh my god, I said Sholmes. She then begins to explain, her face gentle and mild. As I told you in your dream, the denouement can foresee future tragedies when provided with sufficient visual feedback. So long as the requisite information is in your sight, you should be able to predict these tragedies consciously. It's obvious that Armor and Rowdy will die if they attempt to fight the Black Machine now, so try finding out what their outcome will be. You mean predict their deaths? I respond on instinct, taken aback by how blithely she made her grim suggestion. Obviously, I'm hesitant to foresee the demise of my friends. Yeah, well, this is new info. You understand, don't you? Everyone can guess these two will die if they go on the offense. The real issue is that they won't accept it. Even if you can see the future, it means nothing if you can't change it. Therein lies the hardest part. If things continue as they are, they both will die. The only way to prevent this is by proving what terrible future lies in store for them. I just gotta do it. Obviously, I would never want to picture my friends dying, but right now, it's the only way to stop these two reckless detectives. The denouement grants me the power to see all. I focus my vision, scrutinizing the two people whose futures I need to glean. Sir Incompetent? What's the big idea eyeing us like that? Oh, well, I'm trying to use a simulation technique Holmes taught me to see if you two can win in this fight. Swim Malaysian technique? What, are you gonna paddle all the way down south? No, stupid. Simulation? He's like imagining what'll happen if you two dumbasses go fight. Am I right, Incompetent? Exactly, Downtown. I'm still getting used to the process, but I'm getting better at it. I saved Doleful in that trapped room yesterday, remember? That was thanks to one of my simulations. Oh my gosh, that was legit scary. If you hadn't jumped in, Doleful would have been a shish kebab. You serious? Rowdy reluctantly backs down after Downtown's anecdote. Thank goodness. I made that lie up on the fly, but thanks to her, it all worked out. It wasn't really a lie. Okay, I'm one step closer to stopping Rowdy and Armor from getting themselves killed. I refocus my vision on the two of them. In order to see what happens in the future, I need to observe them intently, discerning the causes that will lead to their outcome. Can these two even battle that thing on equal ground? At first glance, they appear to be in perfect fighting shape, like they claimed. Things would surely go better than when we got ambushed the last time. Maybe they really can take the plot down. Just as I contemplate this, a switch flips inside my head with an audible click. Then the manner unfolds in my view. In a split second, my vision is soaked in blood. My head burns in pain to where I can no longer stand. I totter before involuntarily sinking to my knees, and then the world reverts back to the entrance hall. Sir Incompetent, what ails you? What gives? You end up stimulating something bad? Yeah, I saw the worst possible outcome. I press my hand to my forehead, which feels as hot as a tea kettle, and then stand up. Right to tell them the facts of the matter. Armor, Rowdy, you definitely shouldn't go out there. My simulation showed me that if you go now, you'll get overwhelmed in no time. No. What? That's what we want. Yeah, true, you want Rowdy dead. The hell are you going on about? Both of you listen to me. Rowdy grabs me, but I push her back and continue speaking. Even a rock slide couldn't damage that thing, remember? There's no way you'd be able to bring it down in hand-to-hand combat. You think we don't know that? That's why armor's gonna be my shield while I scope out its weak points. My armor sustained nary a scratch when it was slashed in our previous bout. Long shall I be able to stall out that monstrosity. Your body is still compensating for the spot where you got hit though, isn't it? What? Armor recoils, completely caught off guard by my remark. Sorry for not noticing until now, but you're still hurting, aren't you, Armor? If you try to buy time, you'll end up taking a lot more hits than you did before. Do you really think you'll be fine after that? That is... Armor hangs his head in defeat. It knows exactly what will happen if he goes ahead with his plan. Besides, in my vision of the future, he was dead and drenched in blood, despite being covered up from head to toe. Nah, Incompetent's got it all wrong, pal. You'll be fine no matter how many whacks you take, capiche? You can still feel each impact through the armor. Even if the suit doesn't break, the person inside might not be so lucky. From the very beginning, you were fully prepared to walk out that door and die. Am I wrong, Armor? After a long silence, Armor speaks up in a halting voice. Because as you say, I intended to lay down my life so as to secure an opening. Say it ain't so. I ain't never gonna let you do something like that. Oh well, did I know you would object, hence why I resolved not to prize you. Don't Don't go making plans to sacrifice yourself, you king-sized dingbat. Why, I oughta...
それはあなたが言えた言葉じゃないでしょ
And what gives you the right to say any of that? I turn to see Gourmet, looking unusually upset. Downtown stands next to her, sticking her tongue out, cheeky grin. She must have gone and called Gourmet over. That girl really is a clever one.
ヤマトちゃんだって
Weren't you also trying to risk your life for a chance to fight, Rowdy? You're in no position to criticize Armor. No, I mean, see, it's like, the thing is, my gut told me I'd win, see? But the more likely result is that you would die. We're not about to approve of a plan that puts our own people in danger. Someone's in trouble. You hate to see it. Shut your trap. Always sticking your nose where it don't belong. Way to jack my line. But just because you don't contribute anything, you're gonna go all kamikaze on us? As if we like that. Downtown walks up to Rowdy and flicks her on the nose. Look, we're the Detective Alliance. That makes us a team. We've gotta think up a way to get us all out of here. End of story. Oh, and I can't use my social deduction by myself, so if you think you're useless, that's like saying I am too. Don't do me dirty like that, biatch. And then there's you, Tin Can. You better tell us whenever you get hurt. Like, even a small injury can kill you if it's poisoned or gets infected. You feel me? Yes, forgive me for causing you concern. Huh? You think I'm concerned? As if, Mr. Comic Relief character. I just don't want you, like, screwing us over when the chips are down. You want to protect us, huh? How are you gonna do that if you can't protect yourself? Bottom line, you two, quit being stupid and listen to smart detectives. That's what useless extras like us gotta do, got it? Got it. Yes. Rowdy and Armor reply in unison, brought to shame by Downtown's tirade. Downtown just might be the scariest of us all when she gets rubbed the wrong way. I was about to say, this is kind of death flaggy, you know? Looks that way. Workaholic and I exchange sheepish grins. Getting back on track, that simulation was spectacular. Why didn't you tell us you had the special ability? Yes, it was extremely impressive, especially the way you spotted Armor's hidden injury. Quite the observation, that. Wasn't the chief aware that you had such a keen eye? Oh, it really wasn't a big deal. My reply comes out awkwardly, but I still break into a grin despite myself. I've never been praised like this before. But what makes me even more happy is that this is the first time I willingly used my denouement. I think I've gotten the hang of activating it on command now. It's like Holmes said in my dream, my vision is key. I can see the future by focusing on the necessary info all around me. And I've noticed something else too. I need to change. I'll be in my room. The moment I say this, I begin walking toward my sleeping quarters. I pass through the hall, and as soon as I enter the door, thrust my face into the trash can. Just then, the contents of my stomach come spilling out. Is he poisoned? This is awful. My entire body is trembling. Just opening my eyes is enough to make me crazy. It's a disgusting feeling, like someone's grabbing my brain and swirling it around. What's happening? Yeah, Lisa, you're right. I forgot to mention, the denouement takes an unusually heavy toll on your mind. Take care, as it'll leave you unable to stand for a time. Yeah, you tell me. I can't take the pain in my skull as I collapse straight into bed. My eyes snap open to the sound of knocking, nearly groaning as the lingering pain in my head From the lingering pain in my head, I stand up and walk to the door. On opening the door, I see Armor standing before me. Sir Incompetent, are you well? Yeah, sorry to make you worry. I was up late talking to Mystic, so I'm still a bit sleepy. I'll be fine. Yeah, Armor is definitely super involved in this chapter. I feel like Armor Detective's chances of living through the game are pretty slim. But they are the character that has their face covered, which usually is a plot device in these visual novels. Let's think on that for a sec while I just run to the bathroom real quick. Sorry, guys.
Where are you?
Hi. Does Mystic know about Ghost Chan? He does, yeah. And that's why I think Mystic is gonna die. Although I will admit, Downtown is getting a lot of screen time. I must apologize. Meseems I am but a burden to you. Armor bows his head, even through his helmet, I can see how sincerely sorry he feels. Though he often acts without thinking, it's always for the sake of others. I can't find it in myself to fault him for that. Don't worry, we all know you were only acting out of consideration for us. Wait, why was I added? Oh, Lisa. My favorite character is Downtown and Bookie. It was Lisa? Last Sunday paying you. Okay, fair enough. And yeah, there was a whole scene, Lisa, where Mystic basically was like, "What's going on with you?" And then we told him the truth about seeing Ideal Detective, and he was like, "Okay." His whole mantra in life is basically he's never gonna just shut down an outlandish idea. He will take everything as a possibility. Oh, it's Addie. Hi, Addie. Yeah, Among Us is gonna be insane tonight. I'm just saying. I have vibes about tonight's Among Us session. Shimazing is making it. Lisa's staying up. Addie's gonna be here for the first time in weeks, which Addie is extremely an agent of chaos. Steven's gonna be joining us, and he hasn't played with us in so long. I believe I might be getting Frick. Then, like, expect the usuals. It's gonna be definitely a super good sesh. Can't wait. Yeah, Sionis is trying to be there. I know Chief is coming through. We can probably count on Storm, Dammy. Diamond's considering it? I would freak the fuck out, Diamond. I would love that so much. H amazing. I was just gassing up the chat about Among Us tonight. It's looking like it's gonna be a full house. And man, get in there. Do it. You don't wanna miss tonight. I'm saying right now, you don't wanna miss it. We're getting mega people tonight. It's gonna be great. Yeah, I wanna miss tonight. Yeah, Addie. Psh. No, absolutely not. Bedtime bye. You get back here, you false TwitchCon shit poster. Would that I were so noble as a man. Huh?
Yeah.
Pay me no heed. 'Tis a personal matter. Shall we dine in this living room whilst surveying the camera footage? I'll wake up to your weekly message to being like, Among Us? Yeah. You're on my spam list. There's like a whole group of people that I message every time we play.
I'm warning you.
Just to be like, wanna play? So I don't take any offense if you don't reply to it at all. Although you are really good at replying to it, Addie. They are like, I don't like bulk send. I like individually message each person, so. The cameras? Did they capture something? Yeah, no, one of these days, you've got to play Among Us with us. It's super fun. Sometimes we get other FGC people to come through too, like Killer Kitty plays. We've had Royal Heart before. Who else FGC has played Among Us with us? Metalface, but you don't know him, and he's like not FGC to me. He's a personal friend. Freaking Jarek. Love Jarek. He would never play. He used to play. This is like years ago, though. Jarek's energy is always top tier, though. When he's around, like, things just become funnier. I love that guy. You'd be the first case every time. Oh, that sounds like me last week! I was the chapter 2 kill in every game. Forsooth, I am ignorant of such electrical mechanisms. Prithee, might you instruct me in their operation? It's all good, Amazing. I don't feel any kind of way about it. It was just an observation. Sure, I could bring you up to speed and still have time for breakfast, although it must be past noon by now. But is it okay if I take a shower on the second floor first? I feel kinda gross after sweating in my sleep. Content! In the meantime, I shall gather our repast from the dining hall and meet you in the living room. There yet remain several British sandwiches prepared by Mystic this forenoon. They shall serve as our midday meal. The same ones he made yesterday? They were so delicious. I'm looking forward to it. I step out with a change of clothes, leaving armor at the entrance hall as I head to the second floor. I enter the shower, still half asleep, but the warm water wakes me up. As I wash myself, the pain in my head dissipates and... Since I reacted this strongly to using my denouement just once, I'm going to want to be extra careful about when and where I pull it out. So wait, how come we didn't get sick like this when we used the denouement in our dream? Is it because it was involuntary? I can't just go around predicting things left and right until I'm out of commission for half a day. I have to save it for when it's needed. Whoa! Maybe ideal being real there makes it less painful. Oh, yeah. Interesting thought. Oh, you used denouement to save Doleful and no side effects. Right, because it was also involuntary there. So now we as the players are forced to consider if that's intentional or if that's a loophole, like a plot hole. Freshly changed, I exit the bathroom only to run face first into downtown. I must have startled her quite a bit. The way she jerks back away from me, it makes me feel a little bad, actually. Downtown, sorry about that. That was on me. I was totally spacing out there. You were passed out on camera forever, so I got kind of worried, but hey, super stoked to see you're all good. Thanks. I'm heading to the living room to eat with Armor. Did you want to join, maybe? Maybe the further into the future, the more taxing it is? Oh. Although the dream scenario was quite a bit in the future. Here's what I'm wondering. In the vision where he saw everybody dead, it was in the entrance hall, no? Could that have been them dying to the poison? Or was it something else? I'm pretty sure he said Incompetent looked beaten up or something. Thanks. I'm heading to the living room to eat with Armor. Did you want to join, maybe? That's cool of you to ask and all, but I'll swing by a little later. Huh? You have something else going on? Midget? Do you not know where that door behind you goes? Huh? After a moment, I realize the room doesn't have just a shower, but a toilet too. So if I'm in her way, that means... Oh! Also lame. Ta-da! I should really change that command, because we don't accept randoms in Among Us.
Oh my goodness.
It sounds like Diamond's gonna be joining us tonight, yeah.
Oh my god!
I know. I'm very excited.
Oh my god!
One of these days, Rosen, I really want you to play. I do. Oh, that's Sandman! Why? Yeah, everyone Toad2 and at M-Man, please. Thank you. Dipstick. Rosen does too much talking and socializing during the week to want to do anything else. Ah, you're so shy. Oh my god, wait, not toting Mars! I actually approve of that. I bow an apology over and over before leaving downtown to presumably take care of business. Now that I think about it, there's really only one reason I bump into her here. She was right to call me a dipstick. I decided to apologize again once downtown joins us in the... Armor? Okay, this chapter is all downtown and Armor. Are you guys seeing this? Ugh! Oh my god, not the exploding poop in China. Literally so disgusting. That is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay. Yesterday in China, a sewage pipe blew up. Like a major sewage pipe. And covered a city in shit. And because we're in the age of technology...
There's no doubt. It's shit.
It was caught on camera.
Oh my god!
Yeah. So, like, imagine just being in a... If you live in a city. Just imagine, like, going about your life, and suddenly, brown smoke just raises from the ground, and then everything in sight is covered in feces. Like, it... I don't know why my Twitter algorithm shared that with me. I'm gonna be honest. Yes, I agree, Rosen. I agree. That was the worst part of the video, and at least they were inside and not getting shit on them. But it was all over their car, and I'm sure it smelled awful. Yeah. So, thoughts and prayers go out to people in that, wherever that was in China. Again, I ask chat to Toad2 M-Man. Again, I have to do it. And if you want to see the video, go to Discord General, because I posted it there. Thank you, Lisa. I chance upon Armor at the entrance hall, but I thought he was bringing our lunch to the living room. Did something happen? Please go watch it so we can discuss it further. No, 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 no. It's just, you know, the worst part about the video is it's not fake. It happened. Poop rained from the sky in China. Like, it's just... Oh, it's not something that you think is real.
Please stop!
I know. Okay. We're just gonna... All this because Pengy said dump instead of bump. I mean, she clearly had to take a shit. Thank you, my man. You didn't have to wait for me, you know? I said I'd meet you in the living room. Okay! Place your bets! It's Mystic. It's Mystic. It's Mystic. It's Mystic. He's gonna be dead. You think he's exaggerating?
There's no doubt. It's shit.
Sir Incompetent, something grave has transpired. Grave? What happened?
とにかく我と一緒に食堂へ来てくれ。きっと探偵同盟史上最悪の展開なのだ。
Okay, maybe he is exaggerating. Come with me to the dining room. Soothly is the most heinous occurrence in the history of the Detective Alliance. You're playing E7? That's probably that.
これって。
Okay. So, I feel like there's a lot of evidence pointing towards Gourmet, no? Like, maybe Gourmet gets annoyed that Mystic is cooking when she should be the one cooking, kind of thing, you know? What the? Yeah, we have been cruelly bereaved of our British sandwiches. That's not all that's gone, though. The fridge has been completely ransacked, leaving all of the food in total disarray. At first glance, it seems like nothing edible is left. Did the culprit only just now decide to starve us? Trying to unravel their thought process here has baffled me. Whatever shall we do, Sir Incompetent? I knew not if I should sound the alarum. Typo? So I chose instead to await your arrival. Mine specifically? My voice jumps against my wishes. I rank far lower than Armor, and have no experience as a detective, plus 0 confidence as a leader. Alarum is an actual word.
Alarum. Alarum.
Archaic term for alarm.
Alarum. Alarum.
Okay. Added to jail and domain. Yes, actually.
Alarum.
Okay. I'm glad you trust me, but I don't know the first thing about giving directions. Was it not your piercing insight that stayed my hand this morning? I haven't a doubt that you, Sir Incompetent, will lead us with Zell. Armor gives me a pleading look. There's no way I can say no to that. What do I do? It's a detective's duty to live up to the trust of others, Watto. Holmes materializes next to Armor, looking very much like she's enjoying herself. So, wait a minute, I just had a thought that would be a really interesting way to play the game. So, you know how in the first chapter, which was like a tutorial, we were able to command all the detectives because we were like posing as ideal detective? What if throughout the game you can only control the detectives that you convince that they should trust you? Like in the plot, and if you don't do that, then they don't listen to you. That would be pretty cool actually, if that's the way the game goes. She may be right, but I can't know what I don't know. What answer could I give to reassure him? It's okay to be unsure. If you have no idea, then be honest and say so. Fortunately, there are many detectives aside from the two of you. Be yourself. Start with what you can do right now. I miss Buried Stars! That game was so good! Right. I may not be deserving of this trust, but there are plenty of others who are. Holmes's gentle voice soothes my flustered mind. After I give it some thought, there's really no question about what to check first. Let's start with the camera footage, Armor. The culprit might have been caught on film. I see. Such a calm and astute assessment. Never disappoint, Sir Incompetent. Cheerily, let us hasten to the living room and horse over that footage! Wait a sec. Armor takes me by the hand, dragging me from the dining room to the living room. However, despite what I just said, I'm fairly certain that the culprit hasn't been caught on film. My reasoning is simple. There is no camera in the dining room. The dining room is so spacious and conspicuous. We assumed no one would try anything there. We should have known that they would target the fridge. Didn't have enough cameras to go around, so we had prioritized our private rooms and other locations where a murder was likely to occur. We also made a mistake in not considering that the culprit might go after the fridge, but why now of all times? I still can't figure it out. What are they trying to achieve? And what now, Sir Incompetent? Shall we look for evidence in the ransacked refrigerator? That's a good idea, but why don't we share this with everyone first? We need to warn everyone about what the culprit's doing, not to mention, they might notice something we glossed over. As I make my response, I recall what Holmes told me. We don't need to rush and go it alone. We should remain calm and start with what we can do.
僕は監視カメラの映像で館の中を確認
I'll
してみる
check the rest of the manor on the security cameras. Can you let the others know what happened?
了解である。
Yeah, forthwith! Armor follows my directions, taking out his D-pad.
そうそうそれでいいんだ
Good,
よ
that's the ticket. Holmes smiles next to him. She's clearly having a good time. I'd like nothing more than to snap back at her, but I can't as long as Armor is there. Instead, I let out a heavy sigh, then touched the tablet to check the camera footage.
まずは
First, let's see what's going on right now inside the manor. Maybe we'll notice something suspicious. I used the tablet to check each camera. Yesterday, we worked in 2 groups. Today, however, the detectives are all scattered among various rooms. Each seems to be conducting an investigation using their own preferred method.
今日はみんなバラバラに行動
Everyone's
して
on
いる
their
ん
own
だ
today, huh?
あ
Yes.
実は
After this morning's
今朝の
clash,
騒
we
動が終わった
all went our separate ways. That sounds about right. It'd be awkward to work together after how intense things got. Armor and Downtown are usually the ones to rally the group, but they were right in the thick of that fight. It's no wonder everyone split up.
なんだか今日は迷惑をかけっぱ
Would
なし
seem I've been naught but a vexation today. Pray forgive my shameful ways.
気にしすぎだってほら
Don't worry about it too much. Look,
若井さ
Mystic
んと
and
家族
Posh
さ
are
んも
working
一緒に行
together.
動しているみたいだよ
Mystic is touching the floor in contemplation. Meanwhile, Posh sticks some sort of measuring instrument to a flower vase.
他の探偵たちは何をしているの
What
だ
are the other detectives? How fareth they?
社畜さんと
They are
文学さんは
brave as hell
書
for
斎の
going in
方
that
を
room that has a
片っ端から
death
取り出
trap
して
in it.
確認しているみたいだね
Workaholic and bookworm are pouring through every book in the study, while Gourmet and Rowdy are in the rec room by the second floor living room. The rec room has darts, billiards, all sorts of things to relax with. They're checking to see if any are rigged with traps or
ジェ
devices.
フ君は一人で2階の客室を調べてる
Doleful is searching the second floor guest rooms alone. I don't spot Renegade or Techie. They must be in the hallway.
無能先輩とバカお疲れ
Sup, incompetent! Sir, dumbass!
なんだか浮かない顔じ
What's
ゃん
new? You look kinda bummed.
渋谷さん
Downtown. Just when I realize Downtown is walking over, she wraps her arms around me in a hug and pinches my cheek.
さっきはびっくりして言
I
いそびれた
totally
けど
forgot to
さ
tell you this a while ago, but you were like straight fire this morning.
見直
I
したよ
didn't think you had it in you.
渋谷さん
Downtown, could you give me space? My heart thumps at how close her face is to mine. A whiff of soap tickles my nose, causing me to blush. She really is such a touchy-feely person.
いいからいいからバカを止めてくれた
Take
報
it
酬だと
easy,
思って
man.
享
This
受
is
し
a
たんだ
reward for
よ
stopping the
なんだ
steel-plated
かんだ先輩
knucklehead.
は
You
いつも
always
空
keep
気を良く
things
してく
real.
れてるしね
Yeah,
渋谷殿の
Lady
言う通り
Downtown
である
speaketh true.
無能
If
殿は
anything,
もう
Sir
十分すぎる
Incompetent,
ほ
you
ど
contribute
我
far
々に
more than you
貢
ought
献してくれ
to.
て
ほら迷惑をかけた張本人がこう言ってるじゃん
Look, even the troublemaker in chief here knows what's up.
そうかな
If you say so, I'm glad to hear it. These are the first 2 people I met on the morgue, so it really does make me happy to have them say this. Our initial encounter, the way they suspected me, it all feels so long ago at this point.
なんだかんだうちらこ
You
の島にい
know,
る
I
間ずっ
feel
と
like
一緒に
we've
行動してる
been
気がするよ
gelling
ね
ever since we first got on this
そ
island.
うだな
Indeed,
奇妙な
'twas
出
by
会い方をしたというの
peculiar
に
tides that we were brought together.
不思
But
議なも
then,
ので
fate
ある
itself can be rather peculiar.
こんな大変な状況で
It's a little
仲良くや
strange,
ってる
isn't
なん
it?
て
The way we've managed to bond despite the dire circumstances. So much happened since I arrived here. I just hope we've seen the last of it. The only thing I wish is for all 12 of us to get off this island safely. As if answering my wish, my D-pad chirps.
魔界さんからの連絡だ
Mystic's contacting us.
伝えたいことがあるからリビン
Says
グで
he's
待って
got
いてほし
something
い
to tell
だ
us
って
or whatever, so we should head in the living room for
そう
him.
いえばさっき
That
罠の部
reminds
屋を
me,
一緒に調べてた時
We were
隠し通路
in
の
the
場所が
trap
分かったか
room
もしれないって
before.
言ってたよ
It was totally all
みんな
I
の前
do
で発
believe
表する
I
つもり
found
な
the
んじゃ
hidden
ね
passage. Maybe that's the big reveal.
それは朗報だ
Joyous
魔界殿
tidings
が来る
indeed.
のを
Let us
みんなで
await
待つ
Sir
のである
Mystic's arrival. We stop shuffling around and check the cameras while waiting for Mystic. Suddenly, the feed in the trap room flashes. Posh rushes out the door. Maybe Mystic told her directly to join us in the living room. But Mystic himself, the person of interest here, doesn't leave. Something happened. Okay. I'm definitely feeling Mystic is gonna die in this room. Is something not odd about Sir Mystic?
確かにさっきから全然動く様子がないね
He hasn't moved for a while. Like, what's the deal with that?
僕ちょっと上に行ってみるよ。
Heading
何かあっ
up.
たのかもしれない
Something
し。
must have happened.
いやリビングに来いって言
Hold
わ
up,
れてるん
he
だし
told us to
待て
sit
よ
tight in the living
ど
room,
うせ
so
監
let's
視カ
just
メラ
chill
で見て
here.
るんだし
We'll watch the
何かやばいこ
cams
とが
and
起きたら
go help
助け
if
に行け
something
るっしょ
sketchy happens.
そう。
Yeah, okay. Downtown's right. Plus, I have my denouement ability, so we don't really have to rush here. Of course, the likable / not dumb character will die. Yeah, I mean, it's... That's like the catch-22 of mystery visual novels, is like, the characters that are smart enough to solve whatever's going on kind of have to die. Like, it's really rare to have a Kyoko. Yeah, you tell him, Lisa. I hear the door open and turn around. Renegade detective enters, pushing Techie's wheelchair in front of him.
皆さんも魔界さんの
Are
連
we
絡
all
で
gathered for Mystic's message?
僕らは初めから監視カメラの映像を見てたんだよ。
Then everyone who dies haunts
例
you?
の冷蔵庫を襲った犯人
That would be really weird. Actually, we were already here checking the camera footage. We were trying to find out who ransacked the fridge. So the culprit makes their move at last. Wish they would have just
俺たち
stayed
がこの洋
put
館から
until
脱
we
出するま
escaped
で
the
お
manor.
となしくしておいてもらえるとよかったんだけどな。
魔界さんの発見に期待しましょう
Well, I'm excited for what Mystic has to share. He was investigating the trap room for a while. It could be that he's found the hidden passage.
そうだよね。
Yeah, hopefully so.
無能先輩監視カメラの映像を見て
Look at the security camera. Welcome up, Kevin. Who was? Oh. Oh boy. I followed downtown's lead and hurried to study the camera feed. So, we kind of knew Mystic was gonna die. Because he knows about our friend that's haunting us. And he's honestly too smart and nice. Yeah. He's poisoned. And he's Bookie's dad. I know it's... It almost looks like he lost consciousness after being attacked.
何誰かが
What?
若井さんに危
Did
害を
someone
加えたの
hurt Mystic?
それがわかんないんだよ。うちらずっと見てたんだけど、別に変なものは映らなかった
Don't
し。
ask me. We were watching the stream the whole time, but nothing weird happened.
渋谷殿の言う通りなの
Tis
だ。
as Lady Downtown says, Sir Mystic
Makoto
hath been
は
suddenly
突然苦し
struck
み
by
始めたのである。
agonies unknown. So, why would Posh have run out? She was investigating the vases, which allegedly had been filled with poison. But if he told her that, why would he remain behind? What? But that's impossible. Just then, something even more difficult to believe occurs on screen. Oh, no, 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 no. You know exactly what's about to happen. You guys, look at the door. Wait, the door has a stopper. It's supposed to have a stopper. He's gonna get skewered by the trap. He's definitely dead. Who was in the group? Who was in the group that investigated this room? It was Mystic, Downtown.
Oh my god!
It was Mystic, Downtown. Posh was in the group, are you sure? How did the door thing... Yeah. No. Sorry, Bubble Wand. I wasn't specific enough. In the previous stream, the group that encountered the mechanism and the way it works, who was that group? It was Doleful, Downtown, Armor, Mystic, and us. I think that was it. 5. Techie was not there. Gourmet was not there. Renegade was not there. Oh, Bookie was with us. There is no way Bookie would kill her father unless if she's the... No. I actually trust Bookie with my life. There is no way. Poor Mystic. Ah! He knew too much. He knew too much. It was downtown in the Cyan route inside the armor. Everyone, Toad 2 at Rosen. We blocked that door. It couldn't have closed. Not unless the doorstop was removed. The camera feed, however, tells us nothing. My head starts to spin. I don't understand what's going on. Just what are we being made to watch? Even without the powers of denouement, I can tell what's going to happen next.
ついトラップが起
Oh
動する
no! The trap is gonna be triggered. We need to save Mystic. No sooner do the words leave my mouth than everyone else leaps into action.
僕は足が遅いからこ
I
こで
can
監
only
視カメ
slow
ラの
you
映像を
down,
見て
so
おきま
I'll
す
hang back and watch the cameras. If something comes up, I'll notify you on the D-pad.
了解
Got it. Be careful, Techie. As I head to exit the room, I run into Workaholic in downtown.
どうしたんだい
Workroom.
また揉め事でもあったの
What's going on? Not another fight, I hope.
魔界さんの身が危ないんで
Mystic's
す
in danger. We're on our way to save him.
お父さんが
Mother. The girl goes pale. Crap, I shouldn't have said that in front of her. But we have to get to the trap room before it's too late.
事情は後で聞こう私は
We'll
ここで
listen
文
later.
脈さんのそばにいる
I'll
か
stay with
らよろし
Bookworm
く頼
while
ん
you
で
go and handle things.
はい
Okay. We leave Workaholic and the others behind and spring across the living room toward the trap on the second floor.
やっぱり
Great.
外側
It
からで
doesn't
も開
open
かな
from
い
the
か
outside either. We're at the door to the trap room, but it refuses to budge. The doorknob turns uselessly in my hand.
もう壊しちゃおうよもたもたしてる
Just
暇ない
bust
って
it down then! This is no time to, like, dawdle or whatever.
今度こそ
Now this we've got.
我々の出番
Our moment has arrived! Rowdy sprints up and lands a kick with all her strength as Armor tackles the door. The door doesn't yield at first, but the two repeat their assault again and again.
ちょら
How do you like that?
魔界殿
Sir Mystic, we have come to your aid!
すごいじゃん
Way to go! Now we can save Mystic! Downtown lets out a small yelp as she barrels into the trap room. Can't be. I get a bad feeling as I peer inside. Okay, wait. This is a reminder of who was there. Bookie, Downtown, Doleful, Armor, and Mystic on the table, right? There's no way Mystic is dead. His calm, accurate judgment saved us all yesterday in this very same room. Even if someone got the jump on him, I don't believe he could die so easily. I'm sure he'll greet us with his usual cool, collected smile. The stench of blood washes away the last faint traces of hope. The spikes thrusting through the floor have turned the room into a labyrinth. Gradually, they retract down like an ebbing tide. I feel like why are there no pictures of the
All
bodies?
systems online.
The fact that there's no pictures of the bodies in this game is weird to me. It's like, did you guys not have the budget? Or did you not want to make it that graphic? Like, what happened? As the screech of metal retracting into the floor subsides, something heavy falls upon the ground. I look toward the sound and go silent. Mystic lies in a lake of red, his face pallid like a wax model with no sign of life. His one exposed eye stares wide and beneath his eyes. Impaled on spikes just moments ago, his corpse is soaked in a shower of blood. Puncture wounds mark his feet to his outstretched arms. I let the words slip out, unsure of what to expect. Of course, there's no reply. Beyond Mystic's extended hands is the table, the sole place of refuge in this spike-laden hell. Tried desperately to get to safety, but never made it. No one could have survived a direct hit from the spikes. The outcome is obvious. What? I don't get it.
意味わかんないんだけど
I think so, Lisa, but definitely we need to figure out how the door was able to close. Yeah, Mystic Detective died.
この部屋完全に密室だった
The
よね
room's totally sealed,
扉を閉めた
right?
犯人は
Like, who even
中
closed
して
the
襲った
door?
やつはどこに
How
消えた
did
わけ
whatever creep who killed Mystic get away? Why is our headquarters full of death traps no one understands? So, apparently before they arrived here, they're thinking that the Quartering Duke set up a bunch of shit. I mean, immediately I feel like the susses for this chapter are like Gourmet and Techie. Maybe Posh. My favoritism bias is telling me not to sus Posh. Also, Gourmet might be too obvious. Because there's discussion about poison when she's immune to poison. And there was this food thing where he was the one making food for the group. And previously she had been doing that. And then we found the fridge fucked up. So it's like, I feel like there's a lot of red herrings here to try to make us sus the other people that it's not. I know, Kuroi. This room is honestly ridiculous. The fact that they discovered this trap and then went back in the room is like... No! Like, they absolutely should have never allowed anyone into this room ever again. It was very clear that someone was gonna die in this room. The killer robot? The killer robot we found at the facility, though. Although the killer robot was there in his flashbacks to his childhood, so I don't know. I don't really know what's going on. Say, weren't you guys watching them cameras the whole time? Did you clock any sharpers who could have done it? Was not a soul to be seen. Sir Mystic's distress was sudden, and the door sealed all on its own. So what happened? You trying to tell me the Invisible Man did it? The hell's going on here anyhow? Rowdy's grief echoes off the walls of the room. The Invisible Man. Mystic would have loved a phrase like that. The irony is too much to bear. This case raises one too many questions. We were watching the security cameras, and yet the culprit managed to kill Mystic without getting caught on film in any way. Could Rowdy be alright? Was the killer really invisible? How can we possibly approach this seemingly supernatural case? I think it was ideal. Why couldn't I protect him? Why didn't my denouement show me this tragic outcome that awaited us? I struggle not to rebuke myself. I'm supposed to be able to see the future, but I couldn't even stop my friend from dying. What is this ability even good for? Calm yourself, Watto. There's no sense in blaming the denouement for all this. Holmes materializes at my side, scolding me for resenting my new power. If the denouement wasn't triggered, that means you lacked the details needed to foresee this outcome. Tragedies cannot be changed once they occur. All you can do now is seek out whatever it is you've overlooked. I know that, but how am I supposed to investigate a case this complex and bizarre? Remember what Mystic told you. His words flash through my mind. Only by conquering one's fear of death can the truth be ascertained.
落ち着け。
Think, Kwato.
俺ととの付き合い
Didn't you
方が
just learn how to handle the supernatural
昨日学んだばかりじゃない。
yesterday? That's right. Even cases that seem surreal and impenetrable at first can be untangled if you approach them with a calm mind. Step 1. Do not rule out any possibility. With our expertise, we should be able to find the truths that currently lay unseen.
その通りだよ。
Spot on.
未来予知
You've
なん
come
て
to
超
realize
自然
that
的な
even
能
a
力。
cognitive
エンドシーンより
superpower
も
like
ル
Denouement
ール
has
を見出す
regulations,
からど
haven't
んなに
you?
不可解なも
No
のだ
matter
と
how
も
opaque
必
things
ずルール
seem,
は隠れて
the
る。
rules are always
その
hiding
隠され
somewhere.
たルールを
Our
解き明
mission
か
as
すことこそが
detectives is to
探偵の
expose
使命
these
だ。
hidden
この
rules.
混乱した状
Mystic
況を
taught
鎮
you
め
how
ら
to
れるの
approach
は
the occult.
魔界探
Thus,
偵から
only
来る
you
ことの
can
予
bring
定
order
だ
to
から
this chaos.
君しか
All systems online.
そのなけなしのルールを君がみんなを導け。ワト君。
Muster up your courage and lead the way, Wanto.
All systems online.
I'll do my
ありがとうございます
best. Thank you, Holmes.
All systems online.
I clench my fists, psyching myself up. The old me wouldn't have been able to utter a single word in this situation. And even if I had, my shaky voice would have undermined what I was trying to say. But I'm not shaking now. My fear is outweighed by my rage toward whomever did this.
みんな落ち着こう。
Everyone, calm
仮に
down.
犯人が透
Even
明
if the
人間
killer
だったと
is
して
one we
も
can't see,
その
their
行動や
actions
犯行
and
には
crimes must
必ず
follow
ルー
a
ルがあるは
certain
ず。
set of
その
rules.
ルールさえ
If we
解き明
manage
かす
to
ことが
figure
でき
out
れば
the rules,
透明
we
人間だ
can
って
catch
捕ま
the
えられるよ。
culprit, invisible or not.
無能先
Competent?
輩。
Everyone turns to look at me, but I make my way to Mystic's body without faltering. I know how righteous a man he was. It's almost as if the crime is mocking his belief in the occult, not to mention our attempts to monitor things. I've never felt anything close to the ire that's boiling up in the pit of my stomach over this despicable act. Mystic taught me how to engage with the occult, so it's on me to solve this case. I have to. Standing before his corpse, I voice my promise.
見ていてください。魔界
Joe
さん、
Breast Mystic. I swear that I'll bring this phantom killer to justice.
僕が捕まえてみせます。
Chapter 2, Case of the Phantom Killer. Okay. I like that a lot. I'm gonna be right back, and then we will get more into chapter 2.
I'm in danger. Where are you?
Well, hello! I'm back. I took a minute to make another drink and then also heat up some food, so, um, apologies that I was away for a few minutes. After announcing Mystic's death to the others via D-pad, we begin our investigation in earnest.
死因は失血死
The cause of death was
罠から逃げ切れず
exsanguination.
全身を
Unable
針
to
で
escape
串
the
刺しに
trap,
されたんだわ
his entire body was skewered, killing him almost instantly. Kind of food? I just made some pork buns. Steam them in my microwave, I did.
でも魔界さんはこの罠の対処方法を知っていたはず。なぜ逃げ切れなか
But
ったんだ。
Mystic should have known how to deal with this trap. Why wasn't he able to do so safely?
監視カメラの映像を
One
見れ
look
ば
at the security camera should be enough to answer that one. Renegade operates the tablet used for the cameras, which he had brought from the living room, and replays moments right before Mystic's death.
これは明らか
You
に
can clearly tell he was poisoned by something. He couldn't stand and was struggling to breathe, suggesting some sort of neurotoxin.
神経毒なんていつどこで投
But
与され
when
たってい
and
うの
where could something like that have been administered to him?
それはわからないよ
Don't ask me. His body's got so many holes. He may as well be Swiss cheese at this point.
けどさ
Enough with the tasteless jokes,
冗談はやめ
Renegade.
ごめんごめん今日は
My bad, my bad. Don't get your
今
panties
回
in
は
a
別に
twist.
悪ふざけ
I'm
をしたわ
not
けじゃない
trying to make a joke out of this. With this much blood and so many puncture wounds, it'd take one hell of a doctor to figure out how he was poisoned in the first place. The perp likely planned the crime with that in mind. Just like with Senior Detective, this homicide was not only cruel, but cunning.
随分と楽しそうだ
You're
ね。
clearly enjoying yourself.
君
Are
が
you
犯
sure
人
you
なんじゃない
aren't the culprit?
おいおい勘弁して
Give me a
くれよ
break. I'm a detective too. That's when there's a mystery to solve, my engine starts revving. It's part of my nature, really.
殺されたのが仲間であっ
Even
た
when our own comrade is the victim. Don't project your morals onto me. In my world, there's two types of people, me and everyone else.
もう
Tisk
男
tisk.
の子って
Boys
すぐ
always
に
trying
喧嘩に
to
なっ
pick
て
a fight.
嫌になるわね
I've had it up to here. Gourmet wedges herself in between Workaholic and Renegade, ending their argument by force.
さあ
Come on, let's share the autopsy report with everyone.
それ
Then
か
we need to check the security camera recordings.
そうだね。感情的に
Right,
なってしまっ
sorry.
て。
My emotions got the better of me there. Despite his clear annoyance, Workaholic backs down. What's with them? Day by day, I'm sensing some serious tension between Workaholic and Renegade. Could have happened between those two.
私はやっていませんわ
I assure you, I had no hand in this. Asha's voice sounds out from the hallway. For some reason, Downtown and the others are gathered around Posh, whose face is bright red as she shouts.
上流階級である私
Accusing
を疑う
a
となって
blue-blooded lady such as myself. You plebeians have overstepped your bounds. Continue and I shall take this matter to court.
いやだから別に疑ってるわけじゃないってただ魔界ちゃんが倒れる直前に家族ちゃんが慌てて外に出ていた理由を知りたいだけで
Like, oh my god, we are not accusing you, girl. We just want to know why you rushed out in a panic after Mystic collapsed.
ですから特に理由などないと申
I
し上げて
already
るでしょ
told you I had no particular reason for doing so. This discussion is over.
あのな
Look,
俺たち
we're
は
only grilling you
あんた
so
の
we
容疑を
can
晴らそうと思って
clear
聞
your
いてんだ
name,
ぜ
Niche.
頭の悪い俺にだって
Very
破
sus.
壊のおっさんが死ぬ直前まで一緒に行動
With
して
old
た
man
あんた
Mystic
が怪し
right
いって
before he
のは
died.
こっちもんだか
Sounds
らよ
awful fishy, even to a brickhead like me.
ヤマトちゃんの言う通り
Yeah,
だっ
what
て
Rowdy said.
うちや科学ちゃんや社畜さんだってほんの少し
Me,
前まで学び
Techie,
屋にい
and
たんだから
Workaholic were in the
立場は
trap
同じ
room a while ago too. So we're all in the same boat
ちゃん
here.
と事情を
Let's
話
just
し
take a
て
chill pill
みん
and
なを
talk
安
this out,
心させ
okay?
てある
我らはお主を助けたい
Only
だけ
mean
な
to
んだ
aid you, Lady Posh.
結構ですわ
I respectfully decline. Noble Pinkerton blood flows through my
この程
veins.
度のピンチ
I
は
shall
自
chart
分
my
で
own
切り抜けてみ
course
せますの
out
で
of this
焦ら
chaos.
ず
Now, good day to you.
家族さん
Wait, Posh. Posh ignores us and marches off.
ごめんみんなもうちょっと優しい言葉を使うべきだったわ
Sorry, guys. I probably should have been nicer about it.
しゃあねえよ
Ain't no helping it. I don't think she's gonna budge on this one.
譲れない何か
She's not, huh? Posh is extremely proud of her lineage. I wonder if her family has something to do with how strongly she's reacting.
しばらく放っておいてやる
Give her space. I'm quite certain that Posh, in her own way, is quite distraught by the loss of Mystic Detective. After all, she had stayed in that room just a touch. Had she stayed in that room just a touch longer, there was a chance she could have saved him. I imagine he probably told her to leave. But I'm not sure why she wouldn't tell us that. That's another point to consider. Even so, continuing her investigation in that state seems rash and counterproductive. Probably Lisa. I wish there was some way to help
協
her.
力できる者もいれば
Some
できない者もい
can
る
be helped, while others
組織で
cannot.
行動する
That's
というのは
part and parcel of working in an organization.
ですね
Ah, I see. Everyone is coping with the loss of Mr. Detective differently. Some even manage to remain unaffected, like Renegade Detective.
そうだ魔界さんと親しかった文学さんは今どこ
Right,
に
Bookworm was especially close to Mystic. Where is she now?
文学ちゃんなら
She, like, straight up fainted when she heard the news, so I carried her back to...
さすがに
There's
あの子
no
には
way that girl
遺体は
can
見せられないよね
see the body.
このま
That
ま
girl
事件解決まで
better
見
not
ていて
wake
くれた
up
らいいんだけ
until
ど
we get this thing solved.
ありがとう渋谷さん
Thanks, Downtown. You're probably right.
記憶力の優れた文
With her
学さん
photographic memory and the
赤井さんのあ
gruesome
んな
state of
凄惨な
Mystic's
姿
body,
見せ
it
ら
did
れ
too
ない
much. The image of Mystic enjoying dinner with Bookworm flashes in my mind, and my chest suddenly aches. Bookworm already lost her parents to a murder case. To have her family taken away from her twice, I can't begin to imagine her sorrow. We have to get to the bottom of this, for her sake as well.
渋谷さん僕に力を貸して
Downtown, can you lend me a hand?
この事件を
I'll
解
need
決
your
するため
help
には
if we're going to solve
君の
this.
うんうんうん
Wow.
やる気満々
Someone's hyped
じ
for
ゃん
this. Sure,
も
I'll
ちろん
pitch in
いくらで
however
も
you
手助け
need.
しちゃうよ
See, she's just like Ava. She's our
と今
sidekick.
他のみんなと一緒にリ
But
ビン
for
グに
now,
行っ
let's go to the
監視
living
カメラ
room
の
and
映
check
像を
out
確
these
認しようよ
cameras with everyone else. We
手が
might
かり
find like a
映って
clue
る
or
かもだ
something.
し
I do as Downtown suggests and head to the first floor with the other detective.
So saved
Suddenly, sparks flash across my field. Okay, wait. Why is he thinking of this? Because Mystic is dead in the living room there. Oh, I meant inescapable, Ava. The dead bodies, the stiffening flesh at my feet, the putrid smell of death, it all feels so much closer to reality than ever. I can see the trajectory of this impending doom much more clearly now. In other words, this outcome still hasn't been avoided. If anything, this is evidence that it's getting closer to occurring. Downtown's face, so joyful mere moments ago, is now a bone-chilling death mask. I want to believe this is a lie, a delusion, but Mystic has been murdered. The Duke really is inside the manor, and he intends to kill us all. My pulse quickens. It's pounding so hard it hurts. If we don't unravel this case and find the hidden passageway soon...
無能先輩急に
You
立ち止ま
good
ったりして
dude?
どう
Why'd
した
you
の
stop all of a sudden?
大丈夫
Something wrong? It's a lot, Fail. We just had the first character die in our group. That wasn't childhood friend Chan, who is now a ghost that haunts us. We basically knew that this guy was gonna die because no one can know about our ability to see the ghost. A ghost? Yes. Prove it's not a ghost. Also, I will say, it's very silly that they discovered a literal death trap and then continued to explore and examine the room. Like, of course somebody was gonna die. Also, does anyone else realize that we haven't seen Doleful this entire time? Sorry, it's nothing really. My mind snaps back to reality. I smile back at downtown as she looks at me with concern, her eyes narrowing in suspicion. Fishy. My fashionista senses are telling me you're hiding something. Like DR1 with the room with the poisons and you already know. Yeah. Although I recently replayed DR1. And I feel like my opinion of the game changed a little bit. Like, before I would say it's my favorite Danganronpa, and now I'm like, my favorite might be 2. Like, Danganronpa 1 was basically equal parts good and equal parts whack. Like, some of the trials are just really bad. I think that's the main change. Speaking of Danganronpa though, Fail, this game is doing the same thing that Danganronpa 1 did. Where you guys all love 3? I think 2 is my favorite. It's created a setting where the people are trapped. DR1's trials are really stinky. Trial 1 and 3 are straight up not good. One is a tutorial, and the other one, it's like, guys. Yeah. 2 has the best case. And I'll be honest, I think 2 is literally, if you like Nagito, then you think 2 is good, and if you don't like Nagito, then 2 is bad. I'm not going into details here, but what I will say is that in my playthrough of Danganronpa 2, I was exhausted by Nagito and I didn't like him. But upon thinking about the game and watching others play it, I'm like, oh, Nagito is great. And I know that the people that had already played the game already had kind of realized that when I was playing it. So I didn't get why people liked him, and then I played it and I was like, oh my god! Like, the writing is actually so good around him that I'm just like... What I will stand by is that the little trolley kid in Danganronpa 3 really wanted to be Nagito, and he failed. But yeah, Nagito is like... Nagito might be the best character in the series, aside from biases, right? Like, I'm biased towards, like, Taka and Fuyuhiko and whatever. Anyways. We are not here to spoil other games. I'm just saying, I have an appreciation for Nagito now. Yeah. You played 3 first? Oh. Babbles, that is a choice, but things happen. Rosen? ZGD. Oh, you mean like
pardonnez-moi.
that person. Mm-mm. She's sharp. Those fashionista senses are no joke. There's no way I can tell her you're all gonna die, though, so I just try to keep smiling. Look, I won't push you if you don't want to share, but try not to bottle it up too much, okay? Like, it's all chill, so don't worry. You've grown a ton over these past few days. Think so? Well, duh. When you saw your first corpse, you were like super pale, but just now you were giving orders like it was your job. I know I named you incompetent, but keep this up and we'll be taking those first 2 letters off in no time. Yeah. Anyways, back to the game at hand. I think this game is doing what a lot of other good mystery visual novels do, so, I am curious to see if you guys also feel that way. But as someone that has now streamed a lot of different visual novels, hoping to chase the feelings that I got when I first experienced Danganronpa, because that is basically the best visual novel in my opinion, I feel that this game is giving me bits of that, which I like. Danganronpa is super special. But real talk, I think, like, if I was to put everything down on paper about, like, what's good about a game and what's not good about a game, the absolute best visual novel might actually be 13 Sentinels. Like, if you were to tally up everything about a game that was a visual novel, 13 Sentinels might unconditionally be the best game. hated it at first. Interesting. I was gonna make a joke about a bad VN you played, but I can't even remember the name. I played a lot. Digimon Survive? Inescapable? Steins Gate? I'm about 70% into most character stories in 13 Sentinels. It's so good. The No Refunds game? Wait. Inescapable? I really don't like the stories with time travel because it's never done well. Yeah. No spoilers, by the way, guys, because Ifrit has not finished the game, and like I said, we're not trying to spoil games that we're referencing here. I'm just saying as a blanket statement, and if you know, you know. 13 Sentinels might, like, be the best writing individual novel I've seen, in my opinion, right? I actually think Fata Morgana was written really well too, but it had other shortcomings that stop it from being on, like, my S tier. Anyway, back to the game. I feel like she's death flagging. Yeah, I'll try my best. See, fail, that's what I thought was gonna happen. I literally thought Unicorn Overlord was gonna be that, and I'm not disappointed in Unicorn Overlord, but the story was missing. The gameplay was there, the art was there, the music was there, but the story... absolutely... Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say, Fabbles. 13 Sentinels has the best storytelling in any VN. I think, yeah, I think, I will make that statement as my official opinion starting now. 13 Sentinels has the best story out of any game I've ever played. Steins Gate. I think Steins Gate is in the running for the one of the worst things we've ever streamed, right? I'm trying to think of something worse than Steins Gate. I guess the games that I didn't finish. At least Inescapable had Ava. And Dawn.
So saved.
And it gave us the Geo twist at the end for us, specifically. Inuyasha? Inuyasha RPG sucked ass. But we beat it. It was short at least. Suikoden Tactics. That was a truly abhorrent experience. And that Xbox RPG that was like knockoff Star Ocean. Also really fucking bad, but I can't say that with confidence because we didn't get that far in it. Oh, and of course the OG game that I mega fucking hated on was Atelier. Dude, Atelier... You know, I'm so psychotic that I actually think about playing other Atelier games and replaying the one I know I hate. Like, I literally think about replaying Eska and Logi, and I beat myself up in my head because I'm like, I think I wasn't being patient enough, and I should be able to complete any game. These are real thoughts that I have in my head. It's the Pangy psychosis. Amazing clip. Fabbles, this was before your time, but like, that game really put me through it. It was so bad. Oh, it was so bad. How was this 4 years ago? It feels like yesterday. That boomerang sword, I remember. The animation was so bad. The character dialogue was so bad. There is literally nothing good about that game. Except for Logi. You're wide open. Oh, I have to go back. I have to go back. You've only been following since March 2023. Yeah, you were here for... You were here for Engage, and I love that. You know what? Engage is having a comeback on social media where people are talking about how good the game is, and I'm like, I been new. Engage is such a fucking good Fire Emblem. All the people hating on the game for the story need to go and look at the other entries in the series and realize that the writing has literally never been there.
Get me out of here, 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 get me out of here!
Hey, Chief. Yeah, we've been saying this, alright? Engage is a fucking amazing Fire Emblem game.
Yay, it's done!
So, Three Houses has a very well-written story. And Tellius, right? Those are the two exceptions. And you know what? Honestly, I'll give it to Genealogy, okay? Genealogy also had a compelling story that the game itself was invested in. The difference in that is the other games having these stories that are not full investments. Yeah. So you know what? Maybe it's my job to make a video talking about why Engage succeeded. And the video won't be 30 seconds of just me saying the gameplay is fucking amazing. Yeah, it's because of there was little in-between moments and interactions between the characters that don't occur in other games. I would say Sacred Stones has the same thing. Where, like, the characters interact with each other and you're like, oh, this feels like a culmination of people. Not just like you're collecting bodies in your army, like Shadow Dragon, for example. You would contest Genealogy having a good story? It's been a minute for Genealogy for me. I just remember thinking when I was playing Genealogy that, like, I was like, oh, this is the RPG Fire Emblem. Yeah. It's just interesting to think about, like, how they're gonna handle a remake. Yeah, and when I think about Genealogy, I only ever think about Act 1. I never think about Act 2. Like, I can't even tell you the names of all the characters in Act 2. Is this a stopping point for VN? I am rambling. Let's go for 10 more minutes. and then it's Among Us time. Yeah, I'll try my best. Fail. I give downtown a weak grin and keep walking. My head throbs after seeing the denouement's vision, but I can't let that get to me. If things don't change, there will be no avoiding what's to come. I'm certain you've realized this, but the tragedy you just saw was no delusion. It was a glimpse of the not-so-distant future. You're the only living soul who knows. In order to prevent it, you must solve the case by your own hand. Right. I promise I won't let it happen. Downtown praised my progress, but every bit of it is thanks to Holmes. Ace Attorney ruined me, being at my side. What little ability I have is reliant on her. But if it'll solve the case, I'll play the role of leader and guide these detectives. This is, after all, my duty as the one who inherited Holmes's power. Everyone aside from Posh and Bookworm had gathered in the living room. We set the tablet on the table and play the recording from the security camera. 7 a.m. This is when Techie was explaining the poisoned flower vases to me. Yeah, I was getting a glass of water from the dining room when I thought to analyze the water in the vases on a whim. As soon as I detected the poison, I immediately got in touch with Workaholic. Did you see anyone besides yourselves? Nope, not in particular. Neither of us ever realized that Rowdy was nearby, eavesdropping on us. 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. There's all the hubbub from this morning. Dang, I can hear the yelling in my head, even without the sound. Good thing these cameras didn't pick up any of that. Witnessing this again, I am most ashamed. You've been plenty sorry already, pal. Enough's enough. 9 a.m. You really knocked out there, incompetent. Look, you're not even moving. He just spoke, so I guess not. After stopping Rowdy in armor, I felt sick all of a sudden. That confirms Incompetent was sleeping in his room right up until the incident. I think we can clear him as a suspect. At that time, we were enjoying the breakfast Mystic had prepared. We were all there until about 10 o'clock, aside from Incompetent. 10. Around 10, I left the dining room with Renegade to check out the trap room. Oh, there's an odd pair. What were you two investigating? The room's dimensions. You know how the trap room is directly above the living room? We're checking to see if the lengths and widths of such were the same between rooms. What we discovered is that every measurement is identical, even the heights of the ceilings. They are indeed in the same location on this floor plan. Did we not already assume this? In a normal house, sure, but the staircase here is pretty long, isn't it? Given that, I'd think the first floor ceiling would be higher. We can assume the stairs compensate for this discrepancy. In short, it stands to reason that there's a gap between the two floors. Do you think that space could be for, those spikes that shoot out for the floor? They're pretty long, so they need to be hidden somewhere. See, so the spikes are normally retracted in extra space between the two floors, and only pop out when the trap is activated. So from a design perspective, the whole point of that room was to be a trap. Whoever made this and rigged up the chandelier really is twisted. 12. As the recording shows, we swapped places with Doleful and left the trap room at around noon. After that, I moseyed over to the study and thumbed through files the whole time until the murder. Check the cameras and you'll see. What were you doing in there, Doleful? Well, I was thinking in the dining room and got curious about the construction of the doors, so I went to investigate myself.
扉の構造に何かおか
There's
しなもの
something
が
strange
あった
about them. Yeah. While it's very subtle, the doors in this manor have a different design on each floor. Doors in identical guest rooms differ in material and size between floors, whereas totally distinct rooms on the same floor have matching doors.
全く思考の異なる部屋でも
それは確かに作為
That
的だ
does
ね
seem intentional.
別に扉を揃えるルールなどはないけど
It's not a rule
フロ
for
アごと
every
に分
door
けて
to
い
be
る
the
のは
same.
何か
But
し
the
らの意
ones
味合いが
on
あ
the
るかも
first
しれ
floor
ない
are distinct from the
よく
second.
覚えてお
That's
こ
worth keeping in mind.
それから30分くらい扉を調
After
べた
investigating
後
for
に
about half an hour,
もう一
I
度
went back to
各
look
個
at
室の
each
扉を
guest
調
room
べに
door.
戻ったよ
That's where I was until the murder. You can
事
check
件
the
発
footage.
生までずっと
確かに事件が発生した時飛躍君は
True.
個室にいた
You
ね
were in one of the guest rooms when it
武
happened.
蔵さんも
Armor
監
and
視
I
カメラ
both
の
saw
映
you
像で
on
見てい
camera.
た
12:30.
私は食堂で魔界さんと文学さんとこ
I
の
was
館
talking
の
with
構造
Mystic
に
and
ついて
Bookworm
話し
in
て
the
いた
dining room regarding the
それか
structure
ら
of the
この
manor.
映像の通り
Then,
3
as you
人
can
で
see,
学部屋を訪
went
れ
to
て
the
いる
trap room.
他の部屋はす
We
で
had
に
more
あ
or
らか
less
と調べ
checked
尽くし
all
て
the
たから
other rooms by then,
も
so
し仕掛け
if
が残
any
されていると
devices
したら
or
この
mechanisms
罠部屋だと
were
予
left
想
to
し
be
たんだ
found, we figured they would be there.
成果はあったんですか
Did you end up finding anything?
なあ
Well,
罠以外に仕
we
掛けがないこ
confirmed
と
that
も
the
分かった
trap was the only mechanism.
部
The
屋の
room's
構造
layout
的
doesn't
に
account
隠し扉が
concealed
隠れて
door,
いる様子はな
only
い
the
し
spikes
当
below.
てが外れたと思っ
Bookworm
て
and I felt we
文
were
学さ
off
ん
the
と
mark
私
and
は
went
一体
downstairs
した
while
んだけ
Mystic
ど
kept examining
魔
the
界さん
ground.
だけは
Perhaps
ず
he
っ
was
と一人
closing
で
in on the
床を調
hidden
べていた
passage.
彼はこの時すでに
Okay, 1:30.
社畜さんたちと入れ替わりで僕は
I
もう
went
一
to
度
the
学
trap room
び屋
again,
に来たんです
taking the place of Workaholic and Bookworm.
家族さんと渋谷さんが
Caution
車椅子を
downtown
してくれたおかげで
My
楽に2
wheelchair
階まで上がることができました
so I could make it to the
ありがとう
second
ござい
floor
ます
more easily. Thanks for help, you two.
さすがに仲間として見過ごせない
Hey,
よ
we
ね
couldn't just leave our little buddy hanging.
3人は何の調査で
What
学
were
び
you three investigating?
実は僕も
Well,
お客さ
like
んと同じ
Doleful,
で
I would notice that the doors felt off somehow.
うちは科学ちゃんに伝
I
えただ
was
けだよ
just keeping techie
雑
company.
談する雰囲気でもなかったし
I was just keeping techie company. Not a super chatty vibe though, so I didn't contribute like at all.
ちなみにうちの聞いた限り
Oh, and
家
from
族
what
ち
I
ゃんの
remember,
部屋に
Posh
用が
was
あったみ
doing
たい
something there too. She
なん
was
か
like
部
hella
屋の
curious
隅に
about the
置かれ
vase
た
in the
花瓶に
corner.
興味津々だったの
2. This is when Armor woke me up.
そうそうちょうどこの辺りで魔界ちゃんが隠し通路の
Oh,
謎が解けたかも
right.
しれないって
This
言
was
った
when
んだよ
Mystic
ね
was like, I do believe I've solved the mystery of the hidden passage.
テンション上がりすぎて魔界ちゃんに
I
抱き
was
ついちゃって
so stoked, I
家
just
族ちゃん
had
は
to
したな
hug
い
him.
って怒
But
られた
then
わ
Posh was like how utterly obscene or whatevs and got all huffy puffy.
家族さんも嬉しそうでしたけどね
What if she like injected him with something when she hugged him? This is like right before he dies. She's innocent. She seems pretty happy herself, though. Insulin! Not this
さあ
again.
さあ自分の手柄みたいにおほほほ
Yeah,
笑って
she
さ
was like doing her
That's
usual
good
laugh, you
though,
know,
eh?
that oh ho ho junk. It totally cracks me up. Camera show Mystic speaking excited. Without sound, I can sense his congeniality. No one could have expected a murder was about to occur. Dang, this hits way different now. Like, if I stayed, maybe I could have saved him. Felt more at ease after what Mystic told us, so I stopped investigating. If only I'd noticed the anomalies in the
気が緩むのも仕方ないよ
You let your guard down. There's no helping that. I mean, nothing seems out of place just looking at the feed here. This is the moment Armor and I saw earlier. This was also when Mystic contacted us. Bosch begins acting oddly and then rushes out of the trap room. Missing is left by himself, barely moving to the point where it seems peculiar. He then falls to his knees, disappearing from the camera's line of sight. After that, the door seems to close on its own and the camera cuts off. Judging from the broken camera lying on the ground, the spikes must have hit it when they shot out. And that's the end of the security feed leading up to the incident. As we thought, nothing that would point us toward a culprit was caught on film.
この映像と皆さんの
Summarize this
話を取り
feed
まとめる
and
と
everyone's
魔界さ
commentary.
んに異変が起こ
At
り始めた
2:30,
14
when
時
Mystic's
半に
demeanor
学部屋にい
began
た
to
の
change,
は
Posh
家
was the
族さん
only other one in the
直前
room.
まで一緒にいた渋谷さ
Downtown
んは
was
無能君の
there
誘いで
right
リビ
up
ングへ行
until
き
that point,
科
but
学君
left
は
to
食
meet
堂へ飲み物を取り
incompetent.
に行った後
Becky had gone to get a drink, then relocated to the living room.
俺は食堂の冷蔵庫を調べている時にガックンと鉢合わせてね。
They bumped into Tech while checking out the fridge in the dining room. We left for the living room together after
俺た
that.
ちに続いて
Workaholic
リ
and
ビングに来たのは
Bookworm showed
社
up
畜ちゃんと
after
文
us.
学ちゃんだ。
Come to think of it,
実は
on
リビ
the
ングへの
way
道す
over,
が
I
ら
sensed
階
someone
段を
coming
降り
down
て
the
くる気
stairs.
配を
Must
感
have
じ
been
たん
them
だけ
too.
ど。
私と文学さんは事件の
Bookworm
起こ
and
る
I
1
had
時間ほど前
investigated
か
the
ら
study
ず
for
っ
a
と
good
書庫で調
hour
べ物
for
を
the
していたよ
incident. We should be able to confirm each other's alibis.
それを言うなら
Same for me and Gourmet here, the two of us stuck together the whole time.
13時頃から
We
犯
were
行時刻
examining
ま
the
で
rec
娯
room
楽
around
室
1 o'clock
を2人で
until
調
the
べてい
murder.
たわ
You'll be able to see
監
us
視カメラ
clearly
の
on
映
the
像
record.
にも
僕はずっと客室で一
I
人
was
だった
alone in the
けど
guest rooms the entire time, but the
監視カメ
camera
ラに
should show
も
me
映ってる
too. Right. Like I said, Armor and I were watching you investigate the surveillance feed,
武装
Dovil.
さん
つまり事件発生時のアリバイが
The
証明
only
できないの
individual
は
without an alibi would be Posh. Though I suspect she's liable to blow her top again if we say as much. We probably shouldn't tell her while she's in such a fragile emotional state. Best to stay quiet until we've gathered definitive evidence. Even so, all of us have an alibi aside from her. This case only gets stranger and stranger.
ほぼ全員にアリバイ
Most
がある
everyone can account for where they were. How odd. I feel ya! We may have these
監視カ
cameras,
メラがあるとは言っても
but there's none in the halls, and they have no small number of blind
こ
spots.
こまで見事にみんなのアリバ
With
イが
everyone's
証明
alibis
されて
checking out so neatly, I can
もはや
only wonder
作為
if
的
this
と
was
しか
all
思えない
deliberate.
下道殿
Whatever you
つまりどう
do
いう
mean,
こと
Sir
なのだ
Renegade. Prithee,
難しい
speak
言い方を
plainly
せず
for those
ス
of
トレ
us
ートに言ってほしい
less
のである
intellectually inclined. In other
こ
words,
の事
there's
件
reason
の
to believe our
犯人
phantom killer used
透
those
明
blind
人
spots for
間
their
は
nasty scheme.
監視カメラまさか予
Those
期視力
cameras
とな
were
るは
meant
ずだった
to be a
監視カメ
deterrent,
ラが
yet
犯
ended up
行に
being the
使
key
わ
to
れ
this
るなん
crime.
て
Ironic, no?
皮
You
肉
okay
だ
with
よ
that, Tech?
ね
Does it pain you?
が
僕が
It's all because I made those cameras! Renegade slowly saunters towards Techie. His face is full of malice. It's hard to believe he's truly a detective committed to justice.
そうだよ君のおかげで
The
犯人
culprit
は
was
正
able
体
to
をば
off
らさずに
Mystic
魔
without
界探
revealing
偵を
himself.
殺せたんだ
All thanks to you
こ
and
れ
your
もそれも
intentions,
君の作る
inventions
発
even.
明品
Or no, your dear little friends.
君には
You've got
素質
talent.
が
The Mystic
君のせい
detective
で
died
死ん
because
だ
of
魔
it.
界探
So
偵
now
の
for
分
his sake,
まで
you've got to work harder and harder and harder.
やめろ下道探偵
Renegade, cut it out.
仲間をいじめてんじゃねえぞこら
Don't go busting my little buddy's chops, you damn clown. Rowdy and I step in to confront Renegade.
科学君は悪くないよ
I think it's, Lisa, I think it's like,
真に受けちゃダメ
whoever
だ
did this had the blind spots of the cameras in mind, knowing that other people would clearly get suspected because of the cameras. Rosalind likes Renegade, I'm not surprised. It's not your fault, Techie. Don't listen to what Renegade's saying.
そうだぜ
Damn straight.
お
We
前が
all
いいや
know
つ
you're
だ
a
っての
stand-up
はみんな
guy.
分かってる
We're
んだ
gonna work together and give that invisible bastard what for.
無能さん
Guys. Tears well up in Techie's eyes. He wipes his tears with his sleeve of his coat, puts on a dignified expression, and begins moving toward the door.
ありがとうございますですが
Oh.
僕の作った監視カメラ
So is
が
Kuroi
この
suspecting
事件を引
Techie?
き起こしたことは事実です
Thanks, I appreciate it. But the fact is, the cameras I made caused this to
制
happen.
作者の
It's
責
my
任として
responsibility to catch
魔界
Mystic's
さんの
killer,
仇を
and I swear I'll
必
do
ず
it.
僕が
I'll
取ってみ
meet
せ
you
ま
all
す
back here once the case is
また
solved.
事件を
With that, Teki exits the room. As worried as I am, he's overflowing with determination. It wouldn't be in my place to stop him. Things are sure getting interesting.
何笑ってんだっ
What
て
are
ね
you all giddy for, you damn jerk? All that shit again and you're getting a knuckle sandwich.
どうして科学君にあんなことを言った
Why
ん
did
だ
you say all that's Teki? There's nothing to gain by hurting him.
傷つけるなんて
Hurting
とん
him?
でも
I've
な
done
い
nothing of the sort. If anything, Tech is
得があるのは
benefiting from this.
あ
What?
彼は俺に
Thanks to
責め
me,
られ
he's
た
realized his
自身
creations
の
can
発
get
明
others
が
killed.
人死にを
This
招いて
lesson
い
will
ると
help him
学ん
blossom
だ
into an even more brilliant detective than before. Detectives, above all, ought to experience how heavy life can be. You, me, all of us. Let's keep carrying the weight of this thing we call living.
あそうか
Okay,
じゃ
I
あ
get
ま
it
ず
now. All I gotta do is beat you half to death, then you'll really appreciate living. Alright, time out. Fighting among friends is a big no-no. Let's be nice, everyone. Gourmet stops Rowdy as she prepares to lunge at Renegade. There's no mistake, Rowdy's out for blood. It's a good thing Gourmet is here.
羽さん話してくれ俺の勘が下道の野郎は放っておいちゃやべえって言ってんだ
Let me go, sis. My gut tells me that letting this chump off the hook's gonna bite us in the ass.
大切な戦力を削る気私たちはこれから
Alright, Night
全
Man.
員で魔界ちゃんを殺した犯人を見つけ出さなきゃならないのよ
Yeah, so Downtown ran into us after she was with them in the room, which I'm kind of sussing. And make waste of your precious fighting abilities. Right now, we need to work together to find Mystic's killer. Yes,
下
Night
道ちゃん
Man.
の言葉にも一理あるわ
Besides, Renegade does raise a valid point. Well-intentioned acts offer ill-intentioned people all too many openings.
さすがは美食ちゃん
Brilliant as always, Gourmet. You summed my point up oh so succinctly.
あなたは言い方
You
が
ought to
ま
work
ず
on
す
your
ぎる
phrasing.
の
No matter how nutritious the dish, no one is willing to eat something that looks unappetizing. Don't forget, appearances always
見
matter.
栄えが
Goes
大
for
切
food
だ
and
っ
words
て
alike.
ことを忘れ
Apologies, I'll take that to heart.
すまねえ姉さん確かにムカつく野郎だが
It is dipping into Among Us time, so let's make the save before we get into another scene. We're basically right before the big investigation, so that's where we will start this tomorrow. I need to set up Among Us. So let's do that. Good episode today, though. I'm not surprised that Mystic was killed. I thought Downtown was gonna be the first victim, and then after we told him about the ghost thing, I'm like, oh. There is literally no way this character can stay alive, so it was unfortunately predetermined. Alright. Have a good night, Nano. Thank you for staying until the end. Alright. Let's go ahead and set up our situation. The time has come to kill each other. Okay. So, we're setting up. That was a good episode of